How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. Boys, I'm glad you dropped in today. Thanks very much. The other day I was working on my estate car. I got a bad governor on it. We're going to be doing some repairs on that in an upcoming video. But in the meantime, while I was working on the estate car, I had no real good place to set tools. And, I was just chasing tools all afternoon. So what I'd like to do is come up with an idea on how I could maybe make a little bit of a tool caddy that I would be able to roll around when I'm working on things. But I don't want this thing to be so big that it takes up a lot of real estate in the shop, because I'm kind of, even though the shop is more wide open now than ever before, I'm kind of guarding the real estate. So, that's the challenge today, to make some sort of a tool holding caddy, parts holding caddy that I can roll up to a job, but it's not so big that it monopolizes a bunch of space in the shop. So let's go see how we make out with that one. So to make this tool caddy, I needed a base, and I looked around the shop here to try to find a base, and I found this. It used to be a moving dolly, and I had these 3-inch casters on the bottom of it. Now I've already taken the casters off, because these casters, they really rolled around good and easy, and I thought if I make this base here of the tool caddy, I don't want it to be gliding and going all over the shop, so I thought I'd put these little 1 3/4 inch casters on it. It might make it easier to handle, right? And this is good and heavy, because I wanted it to have a good heavy base, because I didn't want it to be tippy. And I'm thinking too, however I make this, if I ever want to go back, need a moving dolly, I can go back and use this and put these casters on here sometime. But I doubt that I'll do that, because I very rarely, if ever, use this dolly. So the other thing I was thinking, how am I going to make the tabletop, and how am I going to connect that? I want to be able to have it at a good height for working when I'm sitting down on the little stool working like off the floor, like on the estate car, so that like the tools or the pieces and parts are right there, easy to see and easy to get at. But if I'm standing up, I'd like it to be at a nice height too for that, so I need it to be adjustable. So how am I going to do that? A while ago I had we had bought a geodesic dome jungle gym for the kids. It was like a half a geodesic dome set on the ground. I used parts and pieces and tubing off that before in other projects. So I went out and I still had some pieces left over. So the red tubing and the blue tubing, different sizes, and it just so happens they nest together really, really well. So I'm thinking if I can make a hole in the middle of this somehow and attach that, then I'll be able to make the table adjustable, right? So, okay, that solved my adjusting issues. What am I going to do for a tabletop? I thought, I've got this metal tray here. It's a cookie sheet, an old cookie sheet. I thought, well, that would make a good tray, but it's kind of small. It's not even as big as the base. I'd like it to be a little bit bigger than that, but I don't want the top to be so big that it overpowers the bottom and makes it tippy. So I was thinking, ooh, what can I do there? So, of course, we'll go back out to the lumber shed where I store all my sheet goods, and I found this piece, and the bottom part here is about 16 by 20. So if I put this here, I can probably get, about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch or so all the way around it. So this piece of sheeting, which is 3/8 of an inch, this is probably going to work good for a tabletop, and it's not right heavy, so that's not going to make the table or the caddy top heavy, so it might topple over. Should keep it good and sturdy. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've got an idea now for the base, got an idea for the shaft, adjustable shaft in the middle, and I've got an idea for the top. I might even wrap this with some 1x material just to keep it a little bit sturdy. So what I want to do is find the center of this, so just go corner to corner. Inch and a quarter. So it's 1.25 inch diameter. So the only drill bit I have is this, it's an expansion auger bit, and I don't have a brace to put it in, and it's meant to go in a brace, but anyway, we're going to try this. I want to make this just about a little bit less than 1.25 inches, about like that maybe. So because I need to drill this hole as perpendicular as I can get it, I put 2 speed squares on here, just held them in place with some screws. So now when I put my drill here, I can monitor the shaft of the drill with this one to make sure it's good this way, and with the bottom one to make sure that it's good this way. I hope. Anyway, let's try it. Excuse my head. Isn't this working good? Oh no, don't tell me. There's a nail right in the middle there. A nail, oh boy. Probably ruined the bit, but we're going to try it some more. I also changed my setup here so that I could keep an eye, like, as long as I can keep the distances equal between each of these edges, I should be going in more or less perpendicular. Now, I don't want to drill this all the way through either, eh? I think I'll go just till this tip here goes through the bottom of the 2x4. Just about like that. Anyway, I think that's going to fit in there okay. I'm going to take this out of the vise and then I have to check and see how long I want to make these shafts before I set that in there to secure it. So I've determined that I think an 18-inch piece here of pipe would be ideal. Then it would be a good height when I'm you know, sitting on the little stool working on something at the floor. And I'll be able to extend it a good height for to get access if I'm standing up at the job. So I'm going to cut this off at 18. And then I'll cut the blue one off at 18 as well. Maybe even a little bit shorter than 18. Not much shorter, but a little bit shorter, just to make sure that that it'll collapse all the way, right? Okay, I'm going to dress up these ends at the grinder. So I talked about putting these little casters on here in the corners. But I'm thinking I'm going to put these big casters back on and try these first. If these don't work, if it ends up being too mobile, then I'll go back to the little ones. But for now, we're just going to leave these big casters on. So I'll put those back here on the corners. Now I think what we have to do is set these in place. And the way I'm going to make these adjustable is I'm going to drill a hole in this one, but several holes in the blue one, so that I can have different places I can move this to, right? So I'm going to drill a hole here through both of these pieces of pipe. So I want them to be flush at the top here, or even if the blue one is protruding a little bit, that wouldn't hurt, but try to keep them flush. I've also measured, set the drill press fence up here so that this drill bit comes in the very center of this V block. So hopefully, if I hold that there and don't move it, I should be able to drill right down through both of them. Let's try it. So that one's in the center. That's the easy one. What's this one look like? Well, not terrible. So I have the red pipe clamped in the V-block with a piece of plumber's strap, and then I clamped the vise and everything to the drill press table. So as long as I don't touch anything, this should work out all right. And I'm going to, I also marked the blue pipe every 3 inches where I'd like to have a hole. So as long as I can locate these dots, I'm going to just highlight them in yellow, so they'll be a little easier to see. So now we're going to slide them in here. And I also have the center punch there, so that should do it for that one. Well, the last couple of holes there got kind of ragged, but I think it's going to work out all right. Yeah, just like that. So those holes didn't line up too bad. They're not right straight, but they're going to be all right. So I got those holes cleaned up a little. So that slides in there now. Nice, eh? So the idea is that's going to go in there. This will go in here. And then I'll make all those different adjustments. So what I want to do is force that down in here now. So let's see if we can get that to bottom out. How square did we get it? Ooh, not very. Oh man. It's not very square at all. Too bad that's not square. Geez, it would have looked so nice. Man, that's crooked. I gotta see if I can do something with that. Oh my God, that's crooked. Maybe I can straighten it up. A little better. A little better. Okay, so this would be the height when it's up full, and that's going to be good, eh? Because if I'm working on something here, place my tool right there. It's a really nice height. I like that. So what's it going to be like at the lowest setting? So I'll be working off my little stool here at the lowest setting, and there's a tabletop height right there. So I think that's kind of ideal, isn't it? So yeah, I like it, other than this being a little bit on the crooked side. It's good and heavy on the bottom too, eh? So I don't think it's going to tip over. Now I have to go to work and make the top. So I think the way I'm going to make the top is I'm going to take this piece of 3/8 plywood, I'm going to cut it to the dimension I want, and then put a piece of, I don't know, plywood through the middle or something through the middle to give it some, like a backbone, and then I'll drill a hole in that that'll fit over top of this, and then that'll sit on the top that way. So I've cut my piece of plywood here. I think I'm going to maybe put this side up because it's smoother. But anyway, I want to put an edge around it to help stiffen it. So I spent some time and I cut some, this is just hemlock, just put a rabbet on the side of it there, and I mitered the corners. So I'm going to put just a little dab of glue on here. And we're going to put this together like so with a brad. And then we're going to do that all the way around. Do that on all four sides, and then we'll set the plywood in it. And then we should be able to take this and set this down in place. I might have to trim this a little bit to get it to fit. Nope, it's going to fit in there good. I'm not going to put glue around that because I don't want to. So a few brads just to hold the sides in. And there we go. Now I want to get a piece of wood to fit in here, and that's where I'm going to drill my hole to support this shelf when I put it on the table. So I resized my expansion bit, and I found the center of this rib that I'm putting across the shelf. So now I want to drill a through hole in this. And the trouble with the drill press is as soon as it starts, it's a self-feeding drill bit, so it goes in there pretty quick. Okay, so there's the through hole. Okay, I rounded over the edges of this so that it would be a little bit smoother on the ends. Just, I don't know, doesn't make much difference really. Okay, now we'll flip this over. 6 screws ought to be enough, eh? So I marked out where the screws should go here. Okay, so that's got that secured. Now we just go put this on the blue post and our table will be done. Okay, we'll just set this in here. It's a snug fit, but that's what I like. Let's try hitting it with this. Alright, that sounds like it's bottomed out now. Okay, let's put this on here. We'll put it in the top hole first. One thing I didn't do is I didn't make the top square with the bottom, but maybe I can fix that. Okay, if I can just hold the bottom, I can turn this, maybe. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, not bad. It's a little wobbly, but you know what? It's going to make an ideal tool table, eh? So there's a look at my estate car. You know, I was working on the engine. I have a bad governor. We're waiting for parts to come in and we're going to fix that. But look at the tools, eh? I got piled up here, tools and parts and pieces, got them laying there. Got some on the floor. You know, they're everywhere. They're on the bench. So what I've done to try to resolve that issue is I made my little tool dolly here. And I spent some time last night before I went back into the camp and I painted it grey. Then I came out this morning and then quickly did some trim painting on it. So I think my Tool Caddy is going to go a long ways to make improvements to clean up the mess like I have around the estate car right now. So let me know what you think. Do you think this is a good add to the shop? Is it worthwhile? I don't know. But anyway, it's a good way to spend the afternoon. Thanks a lot for watching. Sure hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to thumbs up me. Leave me some comments too about what you think. And we'll talk to you.